Breakers. In a game this complex, information is key. And there might be some information that you might not know that you can access. So this big old board that shows up when you're online, offline just plays rolling Gunpla advertisements, fitting. This big old board would show up online and give you quite a few pieces of useful info. Besides your overall score ranking, which I've dropped off hard because I haven't been actively clearing missions for like 2 weeks now. If you didn't know, this is a culmination of all your high scores of every mission of every difficulty you've cleared. That's why I got first in the first couple weeks, because I cleared more missions than anybody, and then I just stopped. You have the good rankings for your clan. You know, your individual score of your clans, clan members bundled together into a numeric rank. Don't know why I'm tripping over those words. GNL's doing kind of weird right now because I don't really accept people unless they tell me they're in the Discord, so it's kind of... I have 99 requests for invitation that I don't really address. You know, good build, we can see the, highest good build levels to see who's got the coolest stuff according to the rest of the player base. Now, just to demystify this a bit, it's not necessarily what build has the most points, it's what player does. Someone can have a hyper-popular design, be grossly ahead in points as far as good build score goes, and when you click him, it's just a regular Blue Destiny. This is because, they happen to be using a Blue Destiny right now. That build has not gotten 26,000 likes. That player has. Just clarifying. Also, it gives you part rankings.
Good to be here.
Which is how popular an individual part is. How often a part is used in a build currently. It could be for mechanical reasons, it could be for aesthetic reasons. It could be for just sheer statistical average, as there's a couple on here that can show. In this case, if we go down the list, Barbaros Lupus Rex happens to be the most popular head by a tiny little bit, followed by S Gundam, Sentinel, and Strike Freedom. Then a power cap down. If I had to guess, since Lupus Rex has no actual skills involved in it, it's just because IBO's a banger and people love that series. S Gundam at least has the excuse of having the Alice system and the head incom, so there are valuable skills on there. Having a trance on the head can free up some other spaces for other skills. And then Double Zeta, of course, has the High Mega, which is one of the only viable head slots you can use for full burst. Strike Freedom, of course, prints money, which is why it's on there. Assumably, you can say the same about why it's in such a heavy lead on the torso. Seed being the monster it is. Strike Freedom at least also comes with a handy little chest Jirobi that you can use for your full burst builds. And you go into 00 and Lupus Rex past that. Grace is kind of surprising, but it does look really cool, and it's kind of a power gap to Lupus Rex, so it might not be considered the same on the list. Meanwhile, Grandpa is on because you are forced to sortie with it when you start the game. Grandpa is kind of a cool benchmark for these lists, because you can see where exactly the popularity starts and where the forced use ends. Because everyone's going to be playing and sortieing with those parts for a mission or two before you start your customization. The arms are, interestingly enough, Destiny. Probably because, again, see Destiny, prints money. And because they're actually kind of useful. Lupus Rex, meanwhile, doesn't have anything going on for them, but it still is up there for aesthetics almost alone. And then Serpent Double Gatling is just a good-ass skill. I've gushed about that before. Arm is mirrored on the other side. Interesting to note that while people are using these as most popular parts, they're mirroring them 1-to-1 on the other side for most of the popularity rankings. Leg Strike Freedom. Super popular design. Great design. The railguns can be used during full burst. Full burst becomes more and more popular. Rex is probably entirely aesthetics for that animalistic look. And build burning can exist on this list with them because the unique skills offered by it are actually incredibly strong. Seisugiri as a kit combo does massive damage at close range. Backpack, Strike Freedom, Rise or Destiny. 3 incredibly useful skills on each of them. between the Trans Am burst, the full burst, and Destiny's Wings of Light. Now, when you get into weapons, you get a little bit weirder. Atomic Bazooka should be easy to explain. It's a nuke. People are breaking the crap out of this by reducing the cost of each nuke fired, letting them launch off dozens at a time before reload. It's distracting, but it's effective. It's annoying to play with other people when they're doing it. What can you do? The 180 mil off the ground type is one of those funny little parts, though, that is based on necessity, since it's going to be almost always one of the first range weapons you get dropped during tutorial. So people swap it on, consequently it's high on this list. Talk about shield first. Radiator shield from GPO2, same thing as the long-range weapon. You're using nukes. It's a nuke you can spend 3 bars on. It's far and away the most popular for that reason. Nukes sell. Who knew? Now, the close-range weapon's a bit of a weirdo. While you have Heat Hawk and Beam Saber, because you're forced to run with those for a while, the next immediate available slots end up being the Barbatos Lupus Rex Extra Large Mace. And that's because it's actually mechanically broken. It is functioning incorrectly. It is abusable as shit. I can demonstrate how real quick. So I have made a most popular Gunpla. I have taken all of these parts you see on that list, and I've slapped them together into one build. All these parts have pretty useful utility on top of that. The Strike Freedom parts have some pretty decent options in EXs. Cypheus 3 rail cannon on the legs. A nice stun there. The Super Lacerta Beam Saber on the legs as well, that gives you one of the old GB3 combo strings. For 1 bar, these are always great for just doing fast chunks of quick damage. And then you also get the beam cannon on the torso, and the Super Dragoons, which is a Hypertrans plus funnel for additional bar combined into one. Now, it's not affected by funnel traits, but it has its uses. The Destiny parts as well give you the Flash Edge, which is a pretty lackluster boomerang. It scales off a range, but even with high-level range weapons, it's not doing a lot of damage or stunning. But the Palma Fiocina grab is very, very useful for breaking cards and slamming people down. I shouldn't have to explain the nuke too much. Atomic Bazooka, Atomic Bazooks. Popular builds. Oh, you've got a little bit of tracking on it. Look at that. Popular builds these days are just reducing their cost of each shot, increasing their gauge to the point they can pop off dozens of them as they go. And then the EX version for 3 bars, just a bigger, beefier boom. That's equipped with the shield, of course. Strike Freedom back also gives you access to full burst, which most of this build can actually utilize, funny enough. Fires all equipped beam rifles, long rifles in your hand, and then beam cannons and railguns on the body at once. Lots of people are trying to make the best out of that. Now, the thing that's really stupid on here would be the extra large mace. As a two-handed greatsword, it's supposed to trade the versatility and combo strings of 2 individual weapons for slower but stronger hits. Now, since extra large mace is its own weird archetype, it actually has some lance skills built into it as well, including, unfortunately, the Lance Million Stab off of Square Square Triangle, which is coded, I don't know if I call it incorrectly, but it's just kind of wrong. See, Lance gets away with that move because it's a one-handed weapon scaling. The eventual hits are not that strong, so you can, get a lot of rapid stabs in without much issue. The Greatsword, though, is still doing Greatsword individual hit damage in each one of those stabs. You're not misseeing that. The power of a single triangle press heavy attack, which is 3 times as much as a regular swing from the regular combo chain, is being dealt with each and every one of those stabs. It's a bizarrely stupid amount of damage, and, more importantly, if I can just turn off my gauges here, drain some gauge, the EX gain off is also equally redonkulous. Just filling that back up for nothing. I'm going to demonstrate a boss mission here real quick. Oh, just for point of reference, none of the parts I have down here are optimized or even leveled in any significant way. I am sitting on 2s, 13s, 22s, and this is a level 14 mace. There are no other modules on, there are no other passives on that should be increasing this by any significant amount. We're going to head into, say...
This is the mission coming!
Yeah, this will work. Let's head into Quest 4. On new type, why not? We'll take the gang with us, I'm too lazy to turn them off. Gonna load in this boss mission real quick.
Alright, it's go
On new
time.
type difficulty, with a level 14 weapon. We're gonna skip its cutscene, even though Absolus is cool.
This thing looks like trouble.
And we're just gonna do an absolute clown shoes amount of damage with this thing with a level 14 weapon on new type. And on top of that, gain a ridiculous amount of bar. I just got 70 X gauges. I can then just activate a trance. And just go right back in on slapping in a second. Oops. Hey, can I get a,
No problem. Leave it to me. I need a reboot.
pick up here, guys? Thank you. Now, if this is a level 50 weapon, this dude would already be 3 bars through. No question about it.